so excited for this conversation I'm about to have. I have Coach Tony Drake here with me, and we are about to dive into everything like wellness, fitness, and life. And I'm just so excited to have him here. Tony, what's up?
What is up? Thank you. Finally, it's been time for us to get in. This is the first podcast, and I'm doing in 2024. I feel a little special to jump in on
Oh,
this with you. Yeah,
yes, no, that's everything right here. The new year, new us. Here we go.
yeah,
S-
let's get it.
Yeah. So Tony, can you just give me like your elevator pitch? Like, who are you? How do people know who you are? What do you do? What's your passion? Like, lay it all on.
Yeah, so I'm an online coach, right? I coach busy professionals all over the world. Mindset, nutrition, habits, personal and professional development. And so, just a little bit of background of my story. The reason why I feel very privileged and honored to coach busy professionals all over the world with the health, mindset, habits, etc., is that that is something I went through for years. At 335 pounds, I was at my heaviest. I had high blood pressure, acid reflux GERD. I was addicted to alcohol, addicted to junk food, addicted to losing, right? I had no confidence, low self-esteem, hated the way I looked at myself when I saw myself in the mirror. And I had that trauma with me for years because when I was younger, I was this fat kid growing up. I was bullied. I was spit on. I've been robbed at gunpoint. I've been told I'll never be anything in life. So I carried that pain with me for years. Right? But I had to learn how to get through the pain and not rely on the vices of alcohol, junk food, etc. I had to turn that pain into a purpose. I had to use my mindset. I had to make sure that somebody can teach me how to get through that pain. Thankful for my brother and wife to get me through that. And I'm able to take all those attributes that I've learned over the course of nearly 20 years and now help other people from all over the world using social media to change their habits, change their purpose, change their lifestyle, and fulfill that purpose that they want to live now.
No, that is everything. And we have so many synergies, and I just love it. That's why I was so
Yeah.
excited to connect with you because
Hmm.
living on purpose is something that you're not taught. You're not
Right.
taught and how to go through these obstacles. Like just for my background, I'm a type 1 diabetic, I'm a health coach, I'm a scientist, and I'm just a good time. But I make diabetes look fun. I try to show the good, the bad, and the ugly, but we're all, regardless if you have issues, chronic issues, mental issues, beyond, we're all going through something. And we all
Hmm.
need tools in our toolkit to figure out how do we rise up, how do we show up as our best self, and how do we put our best foot forward for us, not for anybody else, every day.
Right.
So
And that's the thing that you just said right there, Danica, is that you make it fun. There's a lot of people who are very similar or have similar things that's going on in their life as you have, but they decide not to share. And they're like, I don't want people to think about me a certain way. You're like, I'm doing this to help you. And that's the mentality switch between you and others is that you're so far forward ahead because you look at what's going on. You say, yeah, I'm going through this, but how can I help? Other people are saying, I'm going through this right now and I'm hurt, so I'm going to hide. There's two H's. I'm hurt, so I hide. You're like, I'm hurt, so I want to help, right? And so when you look at it that way, you're putting the focus on them helping others. And now in turn, you're able to spread your word out to so many people. And they're like, me too, me too. And can you help me too? And that's just phenomenal. That's why I was like, yeah, let's make sure we connect because we're in that same boat. A lot of people don't understand that. And they need to start realizing let's help others.
exactly. It's like you are not here on your own. And that is one of the biggest things. It's like people can feel so isolated, especially when you're
Hmm.
going through something and when you're going through weight loss, when you're going through transitions, when you're going through jobs or death or any of these things. Like you're not alone. And I think our
Hmm.
communities, especially the online community, can be such a powerful tool. I got
Hmm.
started on social media not with the intent to like ever have a following or build an online community. It was just a result of me sharing my stories and really showing that hey, you're not alone.
Hmm.
I went out there, I was like, you know what? This is new. I'm going to go on here and just start sharing my stuff. Like I like to eat, I like to work out, I like to talk positivity. Let's go there. And our online community's been there even through my transitions, my glow ups, my all these pieces, and it's one of those like it has so much power. It also has some
Hmm.
scary pieces too because some people abuse it, but 30 seconds, 2 minutes or whatever on an app can really impact your life.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing too is that I have my phone right here, so I'm just doing a little promo for our stories here for social media. Speaking of which, so I got to get my little phone cam set up. But look, just like you said, when you are going through something in your life that you are able to overcome and master, and you use a platform such as our social media, right, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, etc. And you're saying, hey, this is what I've gone through. We can't go to each person's home physically and each person's building physically and say, hey, here's what I'm going. So we take advantage of social media, just like you said. I was using it just for pictures, taking pictures of my food, taking pictures of my wife and I, and then just posting it just because that's what I was doing at first. But I think what happened is once I had a coach and he taught me how to use social media as a business, as a platform to get my story out there, I was able to reach more people faster to where the reciprocation from people was like, I'm going through that now. Can you help me? And I'm like, oh, snap. Yeah, I can help you because I know what it's like to go through what you're going through now. And I know how to solve that problem. And yes, I will help you. So it's just so great where we can use social media as a way to help and inspire and motivate others. And most of the time, people that I have on my team who I'm coaching right now, I've never met face to face, but their life has changed because of the platform usage of helping others when we deliver our message and give them a solution to the problem.
Absolutely. And I think representation is so key here, especially like
Mm-hmm.
being vulnerable enough to tell your story, like kudos, because I know that's hard. I know some people don't like to do that. But for me, it was
Mm-hmm.
part of my transformation. Like I think when you're going through something, the first step, this is what I teach a lot of my clients is name it. Naming it is your
Mm-hmm.
step to accepting it. It's your step to overcoming. It's your step to going further with it. And if you're able to say, like, hey, here's my story, and here's the steps that I've taken to get here, and here's the maintenance that I do every day, like, you are king of maintenance. You are.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that part of your gift is you show up every day, multiple times a day, and you are like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I'm not just telling you what to do, I'm showing you what I'm
Exactly.
doing.
Right.
And I think
Right.
that's what really sets you apart. And I think that's what people are drawn to you on because you're
Mm.
showing, like, hey, this is me. You have the craziest schedule. We can get into that in a minute, in a minute.
Yeah.
But the consistency and your maintenance, I think, are really part of your secret sauce. Can you tell me a little
Mm-hmm.
bit about like how that kind of came into place and how you see that from your light?
Yeah, so similar. I mean, once I realized that I was able to lose 130 pounds, I dropped over 31% body fat, get off all medication, feel better, actually reverse my metabolic age. Why would I want to keep that to myself, right? And it all started locally when I was at my old job, and I was telling people they saw my transition, and they were like, "You went from like being heavier to now like losing weight, and now you're like, I see more muscle, like." I'm seeing it right in front of my eyes. And I'm like, yeah, like this is what I've been doing. And so I was just open to share. It was a passion, right? And so from there, that passion turned into an opportunity to help others, not just locally, but amongst the world. And so I didn't really realize that until 2021, until I ran into my coach Wes Watson at the gym, and he was the one that kind of expand my mentality and gave me the confidence even more to say, you need to go share your story to the world. Like get out there and go share your story to the world. And so once he gave me a blueprint, a foundation, a structure on how to do it, it included the wake up time. It included posting my stuff on a daily basis. It included me showing up every day for them, not for me, for them. And so once he introduced that to me, that's where things started to really like manifest even more, magnify more because I'm like working. Like what he said is exactly what. All right. So it's just, that's how it started. And then things started to grow. But we'll get more into it for sure in a few minutes as you ask those phenomenal questions. So I'm ready.
Yes. And it's one of those like having a coach, having these mentors are really
Yeah.
just catalysts for unlocking your true next level, your purpose, helping you guide and get through your purpose.
Hmm.
What advice would you have for someone that's trying to look into like a coach or a mentor from a business perspective and from a fitness perspective?
Yeah, so just overall, we got to think about the grades first. So somebody's asked me that before. They're like, "Why should I get a coach?" And I'm like, "Think about." I said, "Who's your?" And I've asked multiple people this, but I'll name someone who pretty much everybody knows. I was like, "Think about one of the greatest football players of all time, Tom Brady." And they're like, "Okay," and they said, he has a coach, right?" And they're like, "He does?" And I'm like, "You think all of a sudden he just came Tom Brady just because he's Tom Brady?" Like, no, he has coach. He's had coaches because they've gone through stuff very similar. And so the knowledge that they've obtained, they're now coaching Tom Brady on what to do and how to do it and who to become. And they were like, "Oh, I didn't know that." And I'm like, "That's why he's one of the greats." So what happens is any of these people you see on TV and the movies and sports, whatever it may be, they all have a coach. Nobody rolls solo and just says, "Yep, I'm just the guy here that's just going to do it all." No, we all had coaches. So it's very vital to go to someone and say, "Hey, here's the pain that I'm dealing with. Here's what I'm looking to learn and grow. I want to level up in my health. I want to level up in my money. I want to level up in relationships. I want to level up in my body. I'm just going to do it all by myself. And they're
Yep.
like, okay, really? We've tried that. I've tried that and I failed. So the importance of that is saying, look, I need to invest in myself by hiring a coach to expedite the process and get the insight to get me the results that I've been looking. That's it. But so many people are so involved with like, well, I don't want to spend. And it's like, no, change the way you speak to yourself. You want to invest in you. And once you start to realize that, oh, in order for me to get better, I need to invest in me by having someone lead me the way and expedite the process. I get it now. Okay. But of course, the old saying is you get what you pay for. So if you're trying to go the low budget route, you're going to get a low budget coach and get low budget results.
Yeah, yeah, but I think a lot of these things, like as a health coach, as a business consultant, all these different hats that we wear, it is
Mm-hmm.
like when I'm thinking about my overall health and my wellness, I'm like, no, like treat it this way. Like my doctor's my partner. Like we're in a partnership for my
Mm-hmm.
health. And that's same with my counselor, same with my therapist, same with my nutritionist, same with my coaches, my fitness coach, my business coach. Like we are
Yep.
all there for my better good. And
Mm-hmm.
it took a mindset shift to get there. And that's part of the reason I even became a coach because, especially in my community of diabetics, like there were not a lot of people that looked like me that were coaches. When I was looking with a weird little niche like mine, like there wasn't a lot out there. But to be a coach, you can't just say, I'm a coach. It's no, do
Right.
your background, know yourself, bring something to the table, like educate yourself, go through the
Right.
process. Because if you want people to come to you, if you want to actually serve your communities, you have to level up too. It's not just, hey, I'm posting on Instagram, I'm going to drop a tip that ChatGPT gave me. No, like you
Right.
have to be, you need to be an expert.
Exactly.
And
I mean, think about it like this. So let's just say, Donica, let's just say you had no results, no results at all whatsoever. You're just posting. You're posting exactly what you said. I'm going to copy and paste, and I'm going to post, and I'm going to be a coach just out of the blue. You really got to look at yourself and say, who's going to listen to me out there? Am I even really paying attention to what I'm saying? Do I really believe in what I'm saying and doing? Because if you don't, nobody else will. So you have to carry yourself mentally and physically to where people could just sense that there's something that you know that I don't. So in that case, I need to make sure to reach out to you so I can get that information and that insight and start leveling up more, right? So if I'm going to someone who's overweight with big old slobby boobs, drinking, smoking, and they're like, yeah, I could be your health coach. And I'm like, really? Okay. I've seen your posts. Yeah, you post hamburgers, you post like sloppy cheese sandwiches, you post your boobs hanging out of your tank top, you post yourself putting your shirt out like this. You're going to be my health and fitness coach? Gotcha. Where do I sign? Oh, nowhere. That's right. Like,
yeah, if you don't see like that next level of you in your coach, that's not the coach
yeah,
for you.
exactly. And I see my coach level up every single time I go on Instagram. Went from one Rolls Royces to two to three to now six Rolls Royces. A mansion in Rancho Santa Fe, a mansion in Miami, right? And when you see that, how can you say that's fake? Like, how can you say, like, and you know the person, they're not fraud, and you see that, you see it with our bodies. Man, he went from this to this. She went from this to that. What? Okay, yeah, I got to find out. Like,
Yeah.
it's so common, but it's very uncommon for people to make it common sense. Craziest thing.
Exactly, exactly. And especially like in the fitness world, like everybody who does it, I don't know if I've met anybody recently who's like, I don't want to lose weight. I think the most people come to me like, I'm trying to be healthy. Well,
Right,
okay, when are you going to go from intent to impact? And a
yes,
catalyst to get you there is a coach. It's a
right.
program, it's a coach, it's somebody to be there. So you have that accountability. Like it's so much more. But I think in January, especially January, people are always like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to have these goals. I'm going to do these pieces. But
Yeah,
I still like, for you to work with me, I'm not tough. I ask the tough questions that a lot
yeah,
of people might not be able to ask themselves, but that's what you get when you get a coach.
right.
And it's just moving. It's like what advice would you give to listeners on switching that mindset from intent to impact?
They got to look at themselves in the mirror first and foremost. That's exactly what I did. And I told myself one time, I am so sick and tired of looking like a before pic, of a then pic. And it hit, right? There's other ways that people will be impacted, right? But you literally got to have a you versus you mentality. Do I want to continue to live the rest of my life looking like this? No, I don't. So in order for me to change, I have to change here. I'm not going to wait for the government to change, the world to change, for politics. You're still going to look the same and feel the same as long as you do the same. So that's where it begins, by looking at yourself in the mirror saying, I'm tired of being broke. I'm tired of being fat. I'm tired of being sloppy. Whatever it may be, you have to start there. And from there, you start to get the information in order to start executing. But here's one of the challenges that a lot of people face. People spend more time on information and trying to find out the information to give them the quickest results, but they never take step one to go execute. So they'll spend a whole year listening, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Well, they said this, and she said that, and he said this, but then I went over here and they said something kind of the same, so I don't know which way to go. How about you just go forward?
Mm-hmm.
Take the first step. And if you can't, then invest in someone who can help you get there, to hold your hand and walk with you every step of the way, teach you, guide you, and make sure your path is set straight. Answer the questions that you have and get you from one side to the other. This way, once you conquer that goal, you can now take that same mentality that you learned, same information, the same path, and go make an impact on others. Hey, well, what about this one? Okay.
I know. And it's really it comes down to you and it comes down to your mindset and it's like
Yeah.
when you're ready to make this changes, you will do it. But if you're always in this holding pattern or waiting for the right opportunity, like the right opportunity is now. That's always going to be
Man.
the right opportunity is now. And
Yeah.
that is I know we've all been through it personally. We all have, but you have to persevere. You have to do something for you. Change
Right.
is for you. It's not for anybody else.
Right. I mean, think about that. You said you have to wait for the right opportunity. When is the right opportunity? I ask people that because I go on TikTok live quite a bit. And I'll say, when is the right opportunity for you? Well, when my kids go back home from college, they're here on vacation right now. Oh, really? So you can't be the example for your kids by showing up every day? You're just going to wait for them to go bye bye and then all of a sudden you're going to change miraculously? That makes a lot of sense. What else? Well, I'm just going to wait to save up $1,000 and then I'm going to go do this. Oh, really? Why can't you start with $500? Why can't you start with $10? So the mentality is like, I'm going to start when the perfect time is. But once they start to realize in detail, not just saying like, oh, there's no perfect time, but when you start to really point out a few different factors to make them think and go, yeah, you know what? I can't believe I've been falling for that every single time. That's why I'm getting nowhere. It opens their mind. So I come at them in a way to make them think. Once I give them a little information to kind of chew on and say, yeah, I'm making excuses.
Exactly. And it's like I think that's the power of coaching in any form is we're
Mm-hmm.
not here to give you the steps. Like we could direct you, we can tell you our experiences, but we're
Mm-hmm.
giving you the recommendations. We're giving you the accountability, but it's up to you to make these decisions. It's up to you to follow through. And
Right.
it's okay if you fail. It's okay if it doesn't go as perfect as you thought. It's the fact that you are doing it, that you are trying. You're
Mm-hmm.
making small habit changes, small increments into these things, these bigger goals that you have. Like that's really what progress is. It's not this
Mm-hmm.
beautiful, hey, I dropped 132 pounds in a week. It doesn't happen.
Right.
It doesn't
Right.
happen like that. Trust me, I've tried. It doesn't.
Yeah.
You might go up. You
Right.
might go up more than you go down in a week.
Right.
And
Right.
it's we're in this culture of everything's instant, everything's fast. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like we've lost as a culture, just a community 2024, we have lost this word called patience. And
Mm-hmm.
if you can't have patience with yourself, you won't reach these goals because this nothing that you really want is going to happen instantly. Like you still have to
Right.
work for it. Like if you really want a donut, yes, get it DoorDash to you, whatever. But is that fulfilling? Is that satisfying? No, like that's not what's happening when you're talking about you, your personal development, your fitness goals, any of these things. Like you have to think of yourself holistically.
Right.
Like I love holistic Danica. I love holistic health. I like
Mm-hmm.
holistic well-being. And
Right.
some of the pieces that I try to piece together are like, hey, like if you're not sleeping well, you're not going to show up at work okay. You're not going to hit the
Mm-hmm.
gym okay. You're going to be stressed about these other things. Like anything happens, even your environment, your community, all these places. Like if your place is constantly a mess, like that has intrinsic issues going on. Like your subconscious mind does not turn off. So
Right.
when you're coming into these coaching or these development pieces of it, you're not just touching one piece because these all these
Mm-hmm.
pieces are interconnected. And
Right.
in your, I guess, realm, how do you help people kind of grasp that concept?
Yeah. So let me talk about the problem real fast that a lot of people have and where it kind of started from. What I've realized when it comes to the health and wellness, let me turn this down real fast, but I realized in the health and wellness side of things, think about marketing. Okay. Before the 80s and 90s, let me turn this down. In the 80s and 90s, we had Slim Fast. People were getting Slim Fast. But guess what? They made Ultra Slim Fast. What? You think it's going to be quicker now? Okay. Then we had Amazon delivery. Now we have Amazon Prime delivery overnight. Oh, now you can get it the same day. Okay, so wait a minute. You mean you could go to a restaurant to go eat, or you can go through a drive-through. Forget all that. We'll just bring it to your house. So everything is we want it now. It's from fast to ultra, right? From regular to overnight, right? From going in to go dine as a family to now sitting separate and just saying somebody else will bring it to us. I'll pay double. I don't mind. That's where it starts. So we're being marketed to by the big dogs to say, don't even worry about taking your time. What's patience? You don't care about patience. You want it now, don't you? You want it now, right? You want to lose 20 pounds in 5 minutes, right? Take this. Take this, player. Come on, let's go. And you're like, okay, give me, give me, give me. It's not working for me. Why not? What happened? I took this pill and 5 minutes later, I didn't see any changes. Duh. That's because you lost your patience. So once they start to realize that people that being marketed to, and they're literally being tricked into thinking that that stuff works, they fall victim. They blame everybody else except themselves. So I come in and I say, this is what happened. Here's my story. You've seen it on my social media. I lost 130 pounds, not in a week, not in a month, not in a year. But I looked at myself and said, I'm tired of this, but I want to be this. I need to get, I need to do these things in order to get what I want. I need to get up in the morning and go and make sure that I get the workout in, I stay hydrated, I give myself the food that I need. I'm doing intermittent fasting, and that I'm consistent. And I will see the change as long as I continue to show up because it's proof and it's patient. And once they start to realize that, and I start talking to them about it that way, they start to realize, yeah, all this other stuff didn't work. So when I pull that information out of them and they start to tell themselves that it didn't work, they start to believe it more now, saying, yeah, like, I can't believe I did all that. And that's a great place to be because now you're being vulnerable and open and transparent and realizing that all those years of looking for the quick fix just ended up in a long term disaster. Nothing was solved. And I say, you know what? I went through the same thing too. But I've changed my mentality. I've changed my life. I have my brother to help me on the fitness side, my wife to help me on the nutrition side. They held me accountable. I changed my life and I've leveled up here. From there, I get invested into a coach and he helped me level up here. And that's not it. I'm gonna keep on going. So you heard my story. We can relate. I'll help you. You do the same thing. But no more of that overnight stuff. You got me? Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, I got you. So how long will it take me to lose 5 pounds? Oh my gosh. For real?
Yep. And it's one of those like it just we're constantly being fed. You can get this now, 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 now. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
most of the stuff you really want, you can't get now. You have to have discipline. You have to have patience. You have to really want it for it to happen. And
Right.
work ethic, all these other pieces. And it's one of those like, it doesn't have to be grand. It could be these small increments. It could be these things like, okay, I'm going to do, I mean, I can't, sometimes like if you don't have an hour to go work out for 15 minutes, jog in place, do something, get movement. Because it's the movement is not just for your fitness, it's for your
Right.
mind. It's for
Right.
all these pieces. It's not just, oh, I want to lose these 10 pounds in this week. No, I want to feel good every day.
Right. Exactly. And that's where I want to touch on you with that. Just that part right there. You said people will say, I don't have an hour, right? I don't have time. I don't have an hour to do that. Okay. Well, how about you tell yourself this first? Instead of I don't have the time, tell yourself I'm going to make the time. And when you make the time, you make a difference in your life. But if you keep telling yourself I don't have the time, you'll never see the difference that you want because you keep telling yourself that. So go back and evaluate how your lifestyle is on a daily basis. What do you do when you get up in the morning? Well, I get up and check my email. I reply to people. I make sure that they're taken care of. Then I feed my kids breakfast and I take them to school. Then I go to work and then I have to do more emails. And then by the time I get home, I'm tired. Oh, great. So you had an hour, but instead you decided to take care of everybody else first via replying to people's emails. Oh, great. Okay, you took care of your kids. I get that. I'm a family man too. Took your kid to school. I get it. No harm, no foul. You went to work, took care of everybody else, and now you're too tired. So guess who you put last?
Yeah.
So what happened to that hour that you replied to everybody else? How about you switch that, take care of yourself first, put everybody else aside. This way, when you go to your family, when you go to your kids, when you reply to people later on in the day and you go to work, your whole energy is different. And they see that and feel that. But you don't because you're putting yourself last. Oh my God, I didn't know. I know. And that's why I coach people.
Yep. And you're talking on the family piece of it and just putting yourself first. How can you kind of unpack how you got there and really what your regimen is kind of now? Because I know I see I watch your stuff every day because I know it's something I like. I add. I'm like, okay, if Tony's over here doing
Yeah.
it, I could do it. You know, like
Yeah.
because sometimes even as a coach, even as all these different hats that I wear, like I need that reminder. I need these
Yeah.
things too. And it's like, I'm not alone.
Yeah. So it starts with my purpose, right? I want to be the most fit father and healthy husband for my wife and for my daughter. So it starts there. And I had to realize that, yes, I need to have a purpose in life. Otherwise, it's just wasteful. I'm just living, I'm just existing. But I need to have a purpose and then go fulfill it. So how do I do that? I need to make sure I'm taking care of me first. And these are things that I learned from my coach. If I would have never had him as my coach, I would have never thought of certain things that way in my life. So what did I have to do? I have to get up and I have to take care of me first because I know what it's like on the flip side to put me last. I remember those times. I remember how I felt. I remember how my energy was so low. So I had to make sure and say, okay, get up 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay, 3:45. Now I'm gonna do a 3:05 a.m. club. 2:45 is now the wake up time that I will never go earlier than that. Why? Because my coach started the 2:45 a.m. club, and I never want to outshine the master. So 2:45 is where I start. I get to the gym. Before I even get to the gym, I'm listening to an audible book on the way to the gym to give my mind good information. Because when I wake up in the morning, I'm saying, who can I serve today? I know I'm going to serve my family. I know I'm going to serve my clients. I know I want to serve the world, but I have to serve me first. So I give myself that good information to listen to, take tidbits of it, add that to my story. And people are like, dang, dude has already gotten up on 2:45. He showed us. He's already at the gym. He's already shared a quote that what he read from today or what he heard from today. He shared that with us. He's showing us some workouts. He lists all the workouts for us to steal. Now he's reflecting on what he's read or listened to while he was going to the gym. And from there, he's showing the food, the macros to us on a daily basis. That's 5 wins before the sun comes up. Before I used to get up late, sit in traffic, complain, get to work, negative energy, didn't finish my job, gave bad energy to my family. That's 5 L's.
Hmm.
Which side do you want? So I realized that my purpose in life is to that I need to fulfill is to be the best man for not only myself, but for my wife and for my daughter. They're first. And then serve my team. It's not about me. It's about serving everybody else. But I have to be the best version of me first. And that's where it all started.
No, that's powerful because I
Thank you.
think that is one of the things like I've gone through that where I didn't put myself first, where I put it to my corporate job, I put it towards these other things and it was like, all right, how I've never been overweight until recently, but I was like I was overweight for the first time in my life. I was exhausted. I was pretty much working like 3 jobs, doing way too much. But where was Danica in
Mm,
that? Where was my joy? Where was my health? And like as someone with a
right.
chronic illness, I don't have the leeway. My body don't
Mm-hmm.
bounce back like that. So it was a
Mm-hmm.
short period where it was like that, but I came back.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I dropped 30 pounds by just getting back
Awesome.
to putting me first. And
Yeah.
then even we could talk weight loss stories in a second because I yours is super powerful, but I'm one of those things like you never know when you're going to hit the point where you need to lose weight. You never know when you're going
Mhm.
to need to make changes. You never know when you're going to get a diagnosis. You never know these
Right.
pieces. And what I like to preach on this is be prepared. Invest in yourself today so when anything comes down the line, you can handle it. And if you're
Mm-hmm.
investing in your health today, if you're investing in your mind, investing in whatever makes you you, you can conquer anything.
Mm-hmm.
You truly can. Because I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had 3 whiplash injuries, which I highly recommend not having. It was
Mm-hmm.
a lot. But that took me about 2.5 years to recover. And like now I'm just now back to I'll give myself 90% where I could work out the way that I want to. I have that freedom. I have those luxuries. And it's like, okay, my weight came down, my health has changed, all these things came off. But the consequences of me being immobile in those senses where, okay, like you're gonna have high blood pressure, you're gonna have all these other places. Your blood sugar is all the way all over the place. Things I've never combated before because I was able to take care of my health. But when
Wow.
I was having to pause and slow down and physically you just could not do things besides physical therapy for a long
Mm.
time. It was those things. It's like, okay, let me go back to the drawing board. Like up my water
Mm-hmm.
intake. I can still walk. Let me just walk. I love to walk. Let me do these
Mm-hmm.
little things that are still impactful for me to fill my cup so I can show up in the best way. It might not be a hit workout. It might not be lifting weights in those times, but there's other ways to find movement. There's other ways to uh, keep myself alive, keep myself
Yeah.
rejuvenated in different ways. And I think that's another place where coaching and examples can come through because you don't know when life's going to hit you differently and when something that was
Right.
so normal can be taken away.
Right. Two key points you said, the little things, right? You said it's the little things. Just doing the physical therapy. It's getting up and just taking a walk, like the little things. You know what people do? I want the home run. And if I don't get it, then it's back to zero. Oh, it's the little things. It's the habits that you have to do, have to change. It's the small victories, the small wins on a daily basis. Remember, I named five. You stacking wins on a daily basis. You're showing up every day, right? You're putting in the effort on you every day, and now the results show 30 pounds down. So it's a small victory that people overlook because they're just looking for the big picture. And that can go with wealth, that can go with relationships, that can go with health and fitness. The thing is that once you realize that the small victories add up to the big results, that's when you're winning. But it's so cool to tell yourself, I'm winning every day by the habits that I now have and the execution that I give on a daily basis than sitting at another loss for. And those losses add up over the course of time, but the small victories, man, it just takes you on a whole nother level mentally and physically. So
Yeah.
the fact that you get up, the fact that you're doing this. When was the last time in the last whatever year, month, week where you said, do I have to get up today and take care of me? You're like, I get to get up and take care of me, right?
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
Monday. Oh, I have to go to work. Are you serious? I've been laid off four times and wanted to end my life on the fourth time because I was so depressed. You're talking about, do you have to go to work? That's how you get paid. Like the mentality of people are just so spoiled and they want it now, but they just say, do I have to? Can you give me this? But do I have to? You're soft. Not you, but people who say that, right? So it's just like the way you said that, small victories and getting up to do it. I mean, come on.
Yep. And it's like I'm an all day person. Like I could be a night owl, I could be a morning person, depends. But
Yeah.
I look forward to getting up and going and moving my body, fueling my body, and taking my time for my wellness in the mornings. It doesn't matter. Like I bounce between time zones. I will still make that time
Yeah.
for myself. And it's like I had to become disciplined. I had to figure out what works, had to learn how to be adaptable as my career changes, as these other things changes, and I have to show up differently. But it's like there's three parts of my routine that I can do anywhere
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
still do it. And that's three.
Yeah.
It's like if I know how to get the W, let me get it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and the W could look different day to day, but I know this is it. Like I have it down to this is how many calories I want to burn before 10 a.m. every day
Yeah.
because that's my brain starts to need to have a higher capacity and I need to show up this way. So I want to
Yeah.
feel good. I want to know that I'm doing my best. And
Yeah.
that's I hold myself accountable, but I had to be disciplined, I had to be patient, and I had to
Mhm.
go through some trial and error until I found my groove.
That's how we
And
grow. That's how
and
we
I,
grow.
exactly. And it's like I thankfully eventually got the coaches I needed. I got the health providers I needed. I got all these other things to help me be the best me. And that I think that's the
Hmm.
beauty in all this. Like there is help, there is support, there's community out here. And there are ways like
Hmm.
once you decide, hey, today's the day, we
Hmm.
got you. There are
Yeah.
avenues. You can do it. And it's okay to need help in these things. Like you're not going to magically lose those weight. You're not going to magically become a tennis pro. You're not going to magically get rid of
Right.
all your debt, but you can get a plan. You
Right.
can put one foot in front of the other and you can get there.
Right. Right. Exactly. I didn't go from a credit score of 538 to 849 overnight or 2 weeks. I had a 538 credit score in 2009, 2008, 539. Last week I just showed my friend because I was looking, we were talking about credit, and I was like, well, let me check, and it says 849, 1 point away from perfect credit. But it took time,
Mhm.
right? It's not like it just magically happened. It took time, like you said. It took discipline, it took patience, it took showing up every day, it took effort. You want to win, right? And you're winning, so your results are proof that nobody can say, oh, well, Danica just went the short route. You're like, no, this stuff took time. Do you not get it? Do you not see everything that I've been sharing with you? So it's like, as you continue to do that, because you'll never look back, you're like, I don't want to go back that way. I know what that's like. I'm going to keep
Mhm.
moving forward. And if y'all want to roll with me, then come on through. If not, y'all can stay back there and complain and keep on watching. But I'm going to keep on winning. Which W do you want? Watching or winning? The choice is yours. It's going to take time. I'm telling you, we're going to walk.
And that just brings me back to the whole maintenance thing. Like I'm calling you
Mm-hmm.
king of maintenance, but once you've hit that goal, you don't want to go back. You don't want to reverse all that work you did. You don't want to reverse that time. You don't want to
Mm-hmm.
reverse the sweat, those tears, whatever. And regardless, whatever you're trying to get. But the
Mm-hmm.
key here is that maintenance. You continue to show up. You continue to invest in
Mm-hmm.
you. It becomes a part of you, a big part of
Right.
not your identity, but how you operate. And
Mm-hmm.
Well, thinking about maintenance, like, can you share a little bit of how that still inspires you and pushes you and how you kind of bring that into your practice?
Yeah. It's, I mean, just on a daily basis, it's a matter of looking back and saying, I'm glad I did. I'm glad I put the effort in. I'm glad I showed up. I'm glad I didn't quit on myself. And once I hit a certain goal, I'm like, that's great, but I'm not completely satisfied. Let's keep going. Because what's next, right? One of the biggest goals and dreams that I had since I was 5 was to step foot into a WWF ring. I was teased. I had my back against the wall. I was fat. I was told I'll never be anything in life. I got spit on. Like I said, my back was. And Rick Bassman, he's a promoter of Ultimate Pro Wrestling back in the day. And it was a developmental deal for WWF. And when I was wrestling for Ultimate Pro Wrestling, I was backstage and I was like, man, I would love to get to WWF one day. Just step foot into that ring and wrestle a match. And he was like, they'll never take you looking the way you do. Oh, my childhood dream has been crushed. What do I do? Do I play victim or do I change my mentality? WWF ain't gonna change the way they're accepting people. So the only person that has to change is me. Like, and once I got there, and then I went to Japan and wrestled in Japan, those are ultimate goals and dreams that I had since I was a kid. And I've done it, and I'm like, that's great. But what's next? Because I know what it takes to get there. I just take the same habits and discipline and mentality to get to the next level, right? But your wins are great things to share with other people, inspire and motivate them. And then you just teach them to do the same thing. So the maintenance that I have in life now is just like, yes, I know what I did before to conquer. I know who I had to become now to get from where I was to where I want to be. And I'm gonna just take that and just keep doing the same thing. So some people say it's maintenance, some people say it's leveling up, some people say it's moving forward, but it's never going back.
Exactly. And I think another word that just came to me for this is it's a foundation. It is a
Mm-hmm.
foundation. A strong foundation, you can go and do anything. You're going to level up. You're going to get to this next level. You're going to improve. Like, we are humans, we evolve. And
Mm-hmm.
this is how you build your foundation and how you want to lead your life comes down to you. But there are ways to bring it forward. There's ways to keep getting W's and
Mm-hmm.
making those changes. So I don't know, when it comes to maintenance, I was gonna bring this up. I'm gonna bring it in because I have been really into supplementation and nutraceuticals lately, and I know, like, my body is, I know what I put in it. I read every label.
Yeah.
I'm a scientist by trade, so I'm like, let me read the clinical studies on this. Let me do all these things because I'm a nerd. But I my life changed so drastically. Like, as a diabetic, you're given
Mm-hmm.
medicine and you're told, eat, don't do this, don't do that. And I'm like, okay, but there's so much more. And it's like, I can be a better diabetic. I can be healthier. I don't have to do this. I don't have to be on every medication just because I turned 30 and they're like, "Oh, you need to be on a statin." What
Oh my
science is
gosh.
that? What science is that?
Wow.
So, part of my maintenance is being as healthy as possible, doing my research and fueling my body with the best that I can. And that's
Mm-hmm.
how I came into really the unicity balance. And
Mm-hmm.
this is like, it's been my secret weapon. And this is something I have not
Mm-hmm.
even put out there. I will say a month and a half on using balance as my pre meal drink. My A1C, that's like your accumulated blood sugar over 3 months or over like a period of time, doesn't have to be every 3 months. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm not perfect. I am far from it. And I'm okay with that. That's good. That's how you keep leveling. But
Yep.
I've always had a crappy A1C. And I don't focus on my
Uh,
A1C. I focus on my time in range. But
uh,
a month and a half of having my balance is just twice a day, my pre meal drink, because it slows how the glucose absorbs into your bloodstream, so it reduces blood sugar spikes, which is, as a diabetic, I don't have a pancreas, so that's the biggest problem. I'm a
mm-hmm.
human pancreas, it doesn't work as well. So finding
Mm-hmm.
a natural way for me to enhance my body and just keep it functioning as healthy as it can, even with a chronic illness. But
Mm-hmm.
a month and a half on balance, I've had the lowest A1C I've ever had in my life, ever.
Oh,
Like,
awesome.
down like a point and a half. And I was like, I didn't think that was possible. I didn't think it
Mm-hmm.
was possible. And it's like, this is the change because my workouts have been the same. My medications, like the medication I need, still been the same. But this, just
Yeah.
adding, who would have thought? And I'm like, this is part of my story. This is part of my testament. It's like, you never know when your next glow up, when your next level up, when you're going to be even healthier, when you're going to unlock that next level or check that next box. And I'm sitting here, I'm
Yeah.
like, me drinking some good tasting thing twice a day. Come
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy because I know that's part of your health journey. I know it's part of what you do in there. And it's just like, how did you keep that as part of your maintenance? How does that still keep you fueled as you go?
Yeah, so literally, I've been a big huge proponent of intermittent fasting, so I have the Unimasi and the balance. So when I found out more about the Unimasi, just quick blurb on that, the drink that I was having before that, I realized that it had a lot of pink Himalayan salt and baking soda in it. And so sometimes people with high blood pressure will be affected by that. Right?
Hmm.
Now with the Unimasi, it does not do that. And like I said, it helps people with fasting. But if anybody does have a high blood pressure and hypertension, it can probably elevate a little more. So I stopped doing that, promoting that drink, looked at the Unimati, learned about it, tried it, experimented, and was still able to conquer the past. Then I started to talk about it with others. Once you're a trusted source of something, people will start coming back and listening to what you have to say. So that
Yeah.
on the Unimati side was phenomenal, and I still do it every day. The balance side is once I got the package and I started trying that as well, I follow the protocol. Put it in your water 5 to 10 minutes. After you drink it, you go ahead and have your first meal. You're not feeling that itis. And I already eat healthy anyway. But once I realized that, okay, let me go ahead and give it a shot, I started to feel a little bit better and I didn't feel as sleepy. So I'm like, okay, I can go ahead and start taking this and adding it to my daily regimen. I'm a huge proponent of micronutrients. I know we talk a lot about macros, but micronutrients is just as important. So if you're giving your body that every single day, it's almost like medicine that may come in a pill form. It's no longer needed. Your body is literally getting what it needs. It's getting nourished. So I started to believe in that more. First person I had tried was my mother, 74 years old. Since February of 2023, from February to November, she dropped 50 pounds, but she dropped a lot of inches too. And she feels better. So no matter the age, your body is going to tell you the biggest truth as long as you give it what it needs. You give it bad stuff, it's going to tell you the truth. If you give it good stuff, it's going to tell you the truth. Your body has told you the truth. The results show. The information is there. And because you've done everything else the same, but you've added this one thing into it, and now it's been improving, your body's saying, this is what I need. So that's how people can learn and find out. But they'll hear from the naysayers who never even tried anything, who are completely out of shape, who have no affiliation with health, wellness, or fitness at all. And they'll go, yeah, I don't know if I should do that if I were you. Yeah, I wouldn't do it if I were you either. Look at you. Like, you don't try anything except donuts, cigarettes, and coffee. Like, go away. So,
Yeah. And there's always going to be naysayers out there. And it's one of those things like we're very
yeah,
intentional about what we put out. Like our stories are part of what we communicate. And it's like, I'm not over here saying
yeah,
anything I haven't done. I haven't done my research. It hasn't worked for me. And this is something where it's drastically changed my life. And it's like, yeah, I've dropped some pounds from it. I've done all these other
yeah,
things. It's just enhancing the work that I'm already doing. And it's
right,
natural and it's sources of things that like are hard to get at the grocery store for real. Like
right.
if you had to the amount of fiber, it's like literally like this, like that much maybe, if is in this
Hmm.
packet. And the crazy thing
Yeah,
is, to get that equivalent of that packet, you would have to eat like 6 heads of lettuce.
yeah,
Yes. Like I don't got time for that. I like lettuce, but that's a lot. Eat
yeah,
salad all day. And
right,
it's just so interesting. And I've tried the Unamate. I use that. Here's my little hack. I don't know if it's a hack. I love the matcha and I love the
yeah.
Unamate. So I mix them
Hmm.
and I do it
Hmm.
hot or cold. And like that's the
Yeah,
only way I could do it because it's like it's just a flavor thing. Because I've been
yeah,
during the week I don't do coffee anymore because it's like this gives me far more energy and it's not like a dry like there's no crash and it's
yeah,
not impacting my blood sugars. And I'm like this is all natural. It's all low sugar. There's not no crap added in it. And
right,
if I feel good and I'm not seeing the damage and there's no damage and I've done my research, like I will do it. And
yeah,
if it's giving me the results I want, yes. And of course, I'm going to tell people about it because people are sitting at home wanting to make these moves, wanting to feel better.
hmm,
Do it. Like there's
right,
ways to get out there. It's like how are you nourishing your body? How are you fueling yourself? Fueling your mind,
hmm,
fueling all of these different tanks. And it's like, okay, there's things to help you. There's things to help you
hmm,
get your goals. It might be a coach, it might be a supplement, it might be all these other things. But when
hmm,
you put them all together, think of how beautiful that picture is.
right, right. And it's. I mean, you got to think about it this way. It's like you're talking about something that's been researched, proven. You've done it yourself. Your own testimony. You're sharing the information, and then people will go, "Well, they say that this over here may cause that. What about that?" Right? But they don't realize that the alcohol they're drinking is poisoning their body. All the bad junk food that they're consuming on a daily basis is having their energy low, their frequency levels are low because they start to do negative self-talk. They start to doubt themselves. So what happens is, as they're reflecting on themselves, they project that onto you, and they're going to try to shame you, but in reality, they really feel bad inside. If you told me about something that's going to help me, why would I shame you with a winning mentality? I want to find out more, right? Especially if you're living proof.
Yep.
So it's really the people who literally say, oh, I don't know, it has this, or maybe it's going to affect me this way. It's like, okay, look, quit reflecting on yourself and trying to project it onto me. And when you're ready, just give me a holler. Meanwhile, you sit back and watch, and I'm going to just keep on winning and walking. So as you continue to be that living testament to help other people, one of the coolest things that I always tell people is that you will get haters. That's good. We need those too. You will get people who judge you. That's fine because they're talking about you in some type of way. But that's okay. Because if you're just sitting there boring and doing nothing and being mediocre like everybody else, they won't bring you up. So why
Yep.
not? But it's in a good way.
Exactly. And it's like, I think we're in this also a culture of escapism. That's where the drinking, that's where the partying, oh, that's where the poisoning of your
Yeah.
body from all this other stuff. Like half the stuff that you can get at the stores, there's added junk. They're literally sprinkling, I don't like to say this, but they sprinkle every illness, they sprinkle all this stuff in it because it's faster. Everyone wants that fast on demand thing. And I'm like, sometimes faster isn't better. And
Right.
this is something where you do have control. You have control of what you put in your body. You have control of what you consume your mind with. And when you step up, when you level up and you're like, I can control this, I can become a better person, I can level up, I can be the best me. And there's all these things to help me do it. And there's all these things that are probably not for me. But just because
Mm-hmm.
everybody else is doing it, that's the norm. Like, question, use your mind. You can question things,
Right.
you can read, you can do the research. Like, we will put it out there as we find it and as we
Mm-hmm.
share our testimonies, but part of that's on you. Like, it is you against you. And that's the beauty of life. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
can literally do anything.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You sure can. But it starts with self. That's where it all
Yeah.
begins.
Well, I know we're almost at time. So, how do people find you?
So across all my social media platforms, from TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, it's coaching by Drake, all one word. And that's where they can find me. I quickly reply more on Instagram. I love all my information videos that I like to share mainly on TikTok. So if they want to watch and learn a lot of information, go to my TikTok, Coaching by Drake. If they have any questions regarding mindset, habits, personal development, health, wellness, they can reach to me on Instagram, Coaching by Drake. And this way, I'm able to get to them faster and being able to help change more lives. So that's what they do.
Absolutely. And you guys, Tony's great. If you're trying to get any type of next level, this is your person to help you get there. And he's living proof that you can do it. It doesn't matter your background, doesn't matter what tribulations you've been through, you can get through it and you can be on the other side of it. And that's one of the things that draws me towards Tony, and just hearing his story and seeing how he shows up for himself every day, for his family, and for his community, because that is what we're here to do. That is true
Mm-hmm.
testament to his character. So I love that. And I want everyone to know all about Tony, because it's like, all right, I can lift big weights. I could do these things now. Like, it's like you could always level, you could always grow,
Yeah.
and you don't have to do it alone. Like, there's coaches, there's mentors, there's so much more. And here's just another resource out here that I wanted everyone to know about, because Tony's helped me. And
Yeah.
even us who are out here talking, we got our people, we got our bench, we got our coaches, we got everything. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
not a one person show, and that's okay.
Right. Right.
All right.
Exactly. Nah, I thank you so much. Like, this has been a long time coming. I'm so glad it's finally here,
Yes.
and definitely look forward to more interaction, conversation, and growth. And yeah, man, I'm excited. So thank you. What a way to kick off season 24, 2024. Let's go.
Yes, yes. You guys heard it here. We are here. We are thriving, and we're here to support you guys in whatever goals that you have. If you have questions on health, fitness, finance, anything, hit one of us up,
Mhm.
hit both of us up, doesn't matter, but we will give you the answers that we can. We'll show you to what programs you go to. And if we don't have an answer, we'll help you get to the person that can help you get there.
Mhm.
All
Let's
right.
get it.
Yep.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you guys.